with you in body, if not in mind. My apologies there. So we forget, don't we, that we work in a very strange industry. Well, I mean, look around you. Not that type of strange. I'm talking about the fact that in IT, we embrace change. We have little innovation groups in companies whose whole job, supposedly, is to change the way that company operates, find new products, make them do different things, have us do something differently tomorrow than what we do today. And we don't realize, we don't take the time to stop and reflect and ponder on the significance of this, because pretty much every other established part of society fights change. Change is bad, change is scary. For millennia, civilizations have built religions, they've built institutions, they've built many things desperately attempting to prevent change, to maintain the status quo. And we take our love of change, our familiarity with it and our desire for it, for granted. Now, we share that with one other group, and that is the educationalists. The people who are attempting to create the next generation are trying to make them the creative, brilliant, informed, capable, handy people that will produce a tomorrow that is better and different from the today that we have. And it's worth thinking about how those two goals are so clearly aligned, because open source software, all about change, all about collaboration, education, all about change, all about collaboration. We are very lucky today in our category, our education category, to have all parts of the educational system represented. So our first finalist, if you would bring that up please, came out of the university side, the tertiary side, and this is the R project. Ross Ihaka is here tonight from Auckland University, and Ross and his collaborator Robert Gentleman at the University of Auckland have built this system. Now, how many people have actually heard of R already? That's fantastic. So R is an amazing piece of software. R is the pearl of numbers. If you want to make sense of a pile of data, you use R. You can munge it, you can graph it, you can transform it, mix it up, do whatever you need to do to get the job done in R. And when I met Larry Wall for the first time, I thanked him because he had made so much of my career path possible. And wherever Ross goes at math conferences and statistics conferences, or if he pokes his nose in through science, or now into the emerging world of data science in the computing world, he gets shaken by the hand and clapped on the back and bought a round of drinks, because he has created so many opportunities, so many jobs, so many career paths for people that weren't there before. It's a magnificent project that everybody who works with numbers in science, social sciences, hard sciences, whatever, they use R and they love it. So please, a round of applause for the R project. The second finalist comes from outside the traditional establishment of education, and we mustn't forget the great role of outsiders in education and in open source. So Tabitha Rhoda for One Laptop Per Child is a significant nominee because of the lack of institutional backing. That you have to, if you do something new and you come from the outside, you have to convince people that you're doing the right thing, not with the internal politics that you do and whether you've got a budget to draw upon from one group or another within the institution, but you do it by having sheer force of overwhelmingly excellent product. And you can hardly point to the One Laptop Per Child and say that it is not an astonishingly significant project. This is the first time people have tried to put computers into the hands of students that makes them creators and not consumers. If you go to a high school today, or to a primary school today, what are they teaching children to do on their computers? They're teaching them to use the programs that come with them. And using is so very, very different from creating. It's worth taking a moment, the next time you get to play with a One Laptop Per Child device, to take it and think of the incredible creations that are being made around the world right now with that device. And if you need to play with one, there's one at the table over there. Thank you. Can we have a round of applause for OLPC, please? So you've heard from Albany Senior High School already, from Mark's fantastic speech earlier, about the work that they do. And so they are a state-funded high school. They are significant because they are an all open source institution. But even beyond that, this ties back into the OLPC theme. They are teaching children to create. They are not teaching them to merely passively consume. And if those of you who are in the computer industry in the room probably remember the first time that you got to make something with a computer. You got to create a program or a web page or something that was active and dynamic, that required a bit of specialist technical knowledge, but that you managed to pull off and you had. And that feeling of combination of control and mastery and power is an amazing gift to give to a child. And it is incredible that we have a high school devoted to doing this with open source software right here in New Zealand. So a round of applause for Ashes, please. Now the next finalist reminds me a little of my work. So in the early days I was a programmer, and I don't consider myself a programmer anymore. I tried to change the world with code, but now I try to hack people instead of software. Exactly, yes, obligatory chopper joke there. In honour of Movember, I try to change the way people work rather than the way that software systems work, to change the world, change the way things are done. And Paul Seiler is someone who's also been out there changing the way people work. So he's working from within the Ministry of Education, working around the Managed Learning Environment Initiative. So the Managed and Learning Environment Initiative covers both the software that administers a school and the software that the teachers and the students use as they go about learning. And so, very significant project. What he's done is create this transparent and open place online where teachers, administrators, everybody can join in and share their knowledge and learn from one another. And we overestimate the value of software in our world because, of course, we produce software, and software is the thing that we see. But software is ultimately used by people, and it is the project that brings people together, that gets them sharing their knowledge so that they can take greater use of the software is what we're recognising today. So he has a national initiative that's promoting reusable and portable content for the New Zealand curriculum. He's got a OERNZ, the Open Education Resource Portal for New Zealand schools. And the quote, I love this quote, it's a project designed by New Zealand teachers for New Zealand teachers who, quote, take pride in sharing their Kiwi ingenuity and number 8 wire culture. And if that doesn't describe everyone in the room, I don't know what does. So can we please have a round of applause? The envelope, please. And the winner is Albany Senior High School.
The first thing I'd like to do is acknowledge all the nominees in our category. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Because we all know each other, we all work with each other, we all steal each other's ideas. I mean, share openly each other's ideas. And really, what we've been able to achieve as a result of a huge number of people's contribution. I'd also like to acknowledge the design and build of the project from Open Systems Specialists Jim O'Hara and Gavin Stone here tonight. Thank you. I just had a dream. I thought, I didn't know if it was possible. I knew what we wanted to do. You've heard a lot about what that was today. but they actually did the design and the build, and people like Patrick Brennan and Glenn Ogilvie and Shirley Boyd cracking the whip to make sure that it happened. Those guys gave up a summer of their lives to produce something, and I think it's something really worth celebrating. So thank you very much.